The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
And here we are on the BDE, on the Realm Network, and this is me. This episode of Turning Point is going to be just me. And the reason for that is it's been a year. 365 of the longest days, probably in my 50 years that I can remember, longest days. And it's been a year since my resignation from the WWE Performance Center, WWE/NXT, and as the head coach of the whole, what was then called the developmental system. So I thought this episode would just be me catching everybody up. There are a lot of people who have reached out over the past 12 months and want the dirt. They want to know, give us the dirt. Tell us everything that went on. Give us your side of all the accusations. Give us your side of the internet stories. Tell us about the emails. Tell us about all these people who came out of the woodwork after they had been released from the company and or forgotten about over any course of time and jumped on a picture that had a caption put to it and an email that was sent 3 years earlier. We want to know everything. Tell us about what happened and the conversations that happened that led to your resignation. I'm here to tell you, I've had more than a dozen people reach out with some incredible offers, monetary, like we'd like to pay you this to get your side of the story and everything else. And I'm going to tell you my side of the story. And I'm going to do it here on the BDE. But before we get to that, we'll get to some business, right? Because it's kind of a serious thing. And I hope to laugh at the end because I'm going to talk about a year after me leaving the company, I did my first appearance. So I want to talk about that and talk about the guys and the girls I got to see and the good time I had with the fans and the positive stuff that came out of it. Not this negative that everybody wants to still, there's people who are catching up to news a year later on social media and trying to stir the pot again. And let's face it, once people get their nuts off and join a social media campaign that they know nothing about, but it gives them a chance to shit to stir because social media gives people the opportunity to speak up freely and can talk about whatever they want. No matter how it damages someone personally, professionally, emotionally, whatever it is, people get to do that. And I guess that's their right. And I choose to use social media in a positive way. I'm not sure I've always done that, but I choose to do that now. So I'm wearing this hat on the BDE because I am a supporter of the company. I'm a big fan. So that's going to hurt a lot of feelings in this episode of The Turning Point, but I'm a big fan. But I'm going to get into that in a little bit. So I want to talk first about we'll talk about the whole year and what I've been doing and catching it up everybody to what, not necessarily what they read, but what the truth is in the life of Bill DeMott, since I'm such a newsworthy topic on the internet and, whatever the dirt sheets are and things like that. So we'll get to that in a minute, but I want to talk about the event I was just in New York on May 5th, big city event, I believe was the name of it. Forgive me if I get it wrong, but I was contacted about doing an appearance. By the way, it was my first appearance in a year. And I don't shy away from appearances. I've done a few training camps. I've gone to the Dudley School. I go down to the dojo down here in Orlando and work out with Santana Garrett and some of the guys and girls down there every now and again. The same place where Larry Zbyszko and Scott Hall go when they're in town and are free. And I love to be around wrestling, but it was the first time I was contacted about making an appearance. To quote one person from the TNA offices who contacted me, said, "Man, we'd love to have you, but you're nuclear hot right now. And I don't want to upset the things we're doing. Understandable. And I think a lot of people just figured that I was out of the industry or out of the business and figured they'd leave it alone. Well, my buddy Michael from High Spots, who I've known for years, reached out and said, hey, we're doing this thing. You interested in coming up to New York and doing an appearance? Well, it was a huge thing. There's so many people in the hotel, and I was to be honest, I was nervous. I was getting on a plane for the first time in a year. The last time I was on a plane that had to do with wrestling, I was coming home from Columbus, Ohio, and we'll talk about that coming up too, since it's been a year and they just went back to the Arnold Classic and all the good things that NXT is doing. But it was the first time for me I got on in a year, and I found myself like hesitant. Like I got to the airport and I was looking and I was like, what do you do? What are you supposed to do when somebody comes up to you in person and then is negative or then wants to shit disturb or feels froggy about what they're doing? And that's so my question, and to clear it up right now, that never happened. But I'm not a negative cat, so I don't want to be approached with negativity. And I always have my answers, I guess my politically correct answers, but that wasn't the case. But I got on the plane, and for the 2-hour plus plane ride, I sat and listened to music and just tried to find my happy place. And then I started to remember how much fun it was to go and meet the fans. And I started to look forward to it. And the first thing that happened for me when I landed at LaGuardia Airport and got to the shuttle and got to the building was I ran into Bull James, artist formerly known as Bull Dempsey, James Smith, Baby Huey, all the fun things. James and I got to catch up on a few episodes back on Turning Point, and so there, Bull and I were standing in this big room as we're watching and looking at all the legends of wrestling that were there. And, on the other side the Rock and Roll Express were setting up. Wildfire Tommy Rich was setting up. Terry Funk was walking in. Gene Snitsky, who I absolutely love. Loved him when we were training. Loved him after, loved him during, loved him before. We stay in touch. And Gene is just one of those honest guys, good-hearted, loves the business, is just a positive cat. And if you get a chance to follow him on social media, do it. He's a good guy. He's funny. And it's not his fault. That was my running line. And then all of a sudden, as I'm sitting there and I'm kind of easing my nerves, and I saw Bill Apter, who made me feel very comfortable, and Bill's up on everything. So Bill and I talked. We'll get into that in a second as well. But then there he was, larger than life. And as a young kid in Japan, wanting to learn the business, I was trying to follow every big gaijin in Japan and see what they were doing. And legendary, just a mountain of a man, Stan Hansen, is in the corner. And I went, holy Jesus. So here he comes walking through. And like I said, none of the fans were in yet. So it was just the boys and the legends walking around and getting a cup of coffee and getting ready for it. It's 8:30 in the morning. Now, I've been up since 4 o'clock to get to the airport and everything. And I missed that, believe it or not. I missed the get up early, catch your flight and all these things. But there he was, Stan the Lariat Hansen. And he's walking towards me. And I found myself becoming that young man in 1990, going to Japan for the first time and going to Korakuen Hall and getting to follow those shows as I started with Wing, and we followed New Japan and All Japan and all the bigger companies at the time. And I stood there and I said, Mr. Hansen, it's a pleasure to meet you, Bill DeMott. And with the biggest smile and the biggest freaking hand ever, shook my hand, and we stood there for a minute. We exchanged pleasantries for a minute. And I thought, 28 years later, I finally meet Stan Hansen, who's now being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. So I thought that was a good icebreaker for me because it brought me back to what I love, and I love wrestling. And to shake Stan Hansen's hand And to start my first appearance in over a year, I couldn't have thought of a better way. So thank you, Stan Hansen, for making that happen.
The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
Hey everybody, this is Bill DeMott, and I got to tell you, I'm so excited about everything that's gone on with the brand and with Vince Russo and being on the brand and being part of that crew. I want to thank Vince, and we're so happy to announce that now the BDE is its own channel on the Realm Network, and you can get all the past podcasts, and you can go on my YouTube account and you can see the Bill DeMott experience and all of the past things that we've done, and we're looking forward to the future on the Realm Network. Again, Vince Russo on the brand has started something that he can't control himself. And the BDE is now its own channel. And you're going to get shows like Turning Point, where I'm going to be talking about wrestling, the thing that everybody's been waiting for the past 6 months on the Realm Network with Bill DeMott. I'm going to talk wrestling. You're going to get Face Value with my daughter, Casey. And we're going to talk about life. And you take it at face value. We're going to be serious. There's going to be the Turning Point. There's football with Miss Paula, and there's Paula's Twitter account, and you have to hook her up. You have to tweet her because we're going to talk about stuff. We're going to finish out the year strong with football with Miss Paula, and it all happens on the Realm Network. And right now, you can get your subscription, $3.95 a month, but if you put in the promo code BDE16 right now, $2.95 a month, for the BDE on the Realm Network. Promo code BDE16 is the coupon. Put it in there. $2.95 a month. You get Turning Point. You get Face Value. You get the interviews with unbelievable people. David Brady's coming up, and you can subscribe to this channel. And then you can go and watch the Bill DeMott Experience on YouTube. And you can subscribe to the Bill DeMott Experience on YouTube. All for you. Bill DeMott, all month long. We have football. We have Turning Point. We have Face Value. We have interviews. I'm going to catch up with Vince every now and again. Vince and I may break off and start another show. But it all started with the brand and Vince Russo. And it's grown to the BDE on the Realm Network. And we're excited. We cannot tell you how excited we are. And if you look on the bottom of the screen, click on that site. It takes you right to the subscription page. We're going to have fun. We're going to be serious. We're going to laugh. More importantly, we go back to having fun. But the Realm Network's about to blow up in 2016. And right next to the brand now, you have the BDE. It all started somewhere. It started with Vince. Now it comes to Bill. We're going to have fun. Turning Point's going to be great. We're going to talk wrestling. We're going to have wrestlers, men, women, old guys, young guys, sometimes just me giving you an opinion. Face Value is the most entertaining thing I've ever seen. You don't want to miss one episode. We went on location. It's coming up. It's must-see TV. And for everybody on iTunes, I'm going to give you something to listen to in the traffic. I'm going to give you something on the ride. I'm going to give you something. And it happens here on the Realm Network. So don't miss out. I cannot express enough. It's $3.95 a month for the BDE. But if you put in the promo code right now, BDE16, that's BDE16, $2.95 a month. We're going to be throwing specials at you. We're going to be throwing shows at you, and we're going to entertain you. More importantly, subscribe to the Bill DeMott Experience. We're going to show you exactly what entertainment is, and we're going to make you laugh. We're going to piss some people off along the way, and hopefully we're just going to have some fun. So to Vince Russo and everybody on the brand, thank you. To everybody on BDE, thank you. To the Realm Network, thank you. 2016, big things for the Realm Network and the Bill DeMott Experience. Subscribe now.